So I'm gonna make another video. This is my room right now, and as you can see, I took a shower, and my hair, every time I take a shower, it gets real fluffy. And I was like, man, I need to get a perm or something so that my hair just lays down straight. But yeah, it's just really fluffy, and as you can see. Anyway, I wanted to make a video about some things that are really important. As far as it goes with this whole medical school, I don't know really what to expect. Who's to say that it's just too hard while I'm at school? I'm like, well, this is really difficult, and I just drop out. Anything's possible. I don't think it is. I think I can pass it. Because the algebra and the mathematics are quite studyingly very difficult to complete. But I don't ever know. They may not want me in the class. I could tell you this, that's never going to be allowed in my life, and it's not going to happen. I'll be trained confined, and I already feel like I have been into the medical field. But as far as it goes, making my pass gas again. As far as it goes with the CNA class, hopefully everything still has to go through. I've already got covered for FAFSA. I have to get these vaccines completed, and then I already have my application completed from the Allied Health, and I have to get my vaccines done. I have to send it in, and it takes, I think, 3 to 5 days for them to look over. I'm approved, and then they tell me. So I'll be going to school at Brookhaven College, which is about an hour and about 10 minutes. It says an hour 6 minutes to be exact, but it's always more than that. It's about an hour and 15 minutes to get there, one way, which is really good. It's actually just 2 buses. So I don't think it's just 1 bus. I think it's 2 buses, but that's not too bad. And hopefully they have some late evening classes. So I have never been able to go to school at night. Like a 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock class or something. I've never done anything like that before, but it'd be pretty cool. Maybe they'll have some clinicals at night as well, which I'm getting kind of used to. Or kind of understanding more of the idea when they talk about clinicals, because this college talk is sort of very new to me. Like when I was younger, this college type of speaking, when people say, oh, I got to go to clinicals and I want to be late to I have to be there and then I have to head back to class. To me, that's always sounded very sophisticated and very, very only smart people knew the sort of these sophisticated names to these sophisticated specific classes and how the structure and how to get a degree and all these different things. Internship and shit like that. I didn't quite understand at all when I was, 19, 18 years old. Even barely understanding that when I was 20. But as far as the CNA class goes, I'm hoping to be able to earn that. Complete that. I'm not sure exactly if this is a fast pace. I'm hoping that it could all be completed in like 2.5 months. No more than 3 months. Maybe it can be completed in 2 months, exactly 8 weeks. I'm hoping for that as well. Just depending on how hard. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever been to a class where you're learning something that's not trying to prove your academic mental skills, where you're just sort of you're learning new information in a structural setting class. So that's very new to me. And so hopefully it goes really good. It goes everything smooth. I pass. I'm going to get the medication aid, which is like an extra, I want to say it was like an extra couple $100, but then I saw something on $800. I don't think it was, maybe I think it was something else, but I want to say there was a couple classes that offered it, and it was like $100 or $200 or a couple $100 extra, but you have to already have a CNA license that you can get that. So if you have a CNA license, then you could administrate medication, but it's a separate entire class for that. And then you have to take a CPR class, which is, I don't know if it's even mandatory for CNA, as it probably is, and a BSL, BLS, which is a basic life support class as well. And so I'll have those certificates, and then I'm good to go. What I'm going to do this for myself, for my family, my immediate family. My mother's sisters, or triplets, have completely scolded me for ever wanting to desire to even go to school again. The most uninfluential, it's hard for me to describe that someone is behaving this way. My mother's not in their picture, no, none of my family is, and I'm trying to better myself and family, knowing that the more that they have her scold me, the more is it that I don't want to pursue any higher education, because she just wants to control the financial profit of whatever I'm valued at to whatever DJ career is lined up for me, and whatever celebrity, ego or whatever it is that she wants to then feed it to her other kids or exchange it for all these bad things, because they put my mother in this mess and they're doing it on purpose, and I know what's but I don't understand why I can't at least be comfortable and have some positive influences while I'm going to school. Like, why can't that happen? But isn't very concerned of my well-being or life at all. But I'm going to get this certificate. I am a plastic anemia patient, bone marrow transplant patient, obviously the HIV. They don't want to tell me because the entire United States and most of the fucking world, of so much of the situation. But I'm not really thinking of any of that. I'm pretty sure they have it under control as long as I just take care of myself really well, and just focus on God and Jesus and what He wants me to do and what's going to be good for me. And I was thinking, getting a CNA license. Being in an atmosphere is likely to be in a nursing home. I'm hoping to work in a hospital. That would be really great. I'm hoping to work very specifically in a hospital. Because nursing homes it's not that I don't have a plan to work in them, but understanding the elements of what that is really like. Because there's hospice there. There's old people that just die. They're not even in hospice and just die. So, or they pass away. I could, be walking and working there for a couple of weeks, and I just happen to walk in on somebody that's deceased. And that's the reality of the situation, and I'm sure they'll teach me that in class, or at least the basics of those types of things, where I don't really deal with that. The head nurse deals with that. So that's a good thing. I always have there's always a head nurse that's highly educated with a bachelor's degree, or at least LVNs, licensed vocational nurse. Those are 2-year degrees where you can become a nurse, and I work under those, and they're very highly educated. And usually those people are very brilliant. You have to be in order to be a nurse. It takes an unbelievable amount of studying and dedication beyond anything that people really don't understand. But I think that it's important because, I'm hoping with the CNA license, like what I think is going to happen is I'm going to get the CNA license, BLS, Basic Life Support, CPR, Medication Aid Certificate. And when I get all this completed, it'll be like July something, probably like sometime in mid-July or maybe at the beginning of August when school starts again, right? So when I start this, wait, you know what? I think classes start in summer. So I don't know. I may not even be done with classes until September. Who knows? Or October. But when I complete these classes, I'm going to go look for a job, figure out if I want to move or not. but the key role for me is to financially get money, so that, well, I was like, well, if I can save up money, I can either buy a car, which is something I will do, or I will. My plan is to go to Jerusalem, so I still have my planning trips. But being a CNA, they make they make really good money. Starting money, I think is like $17, and that's starting. Given the fact that I'm older as well, more likely to get paid well, a little bit more. Who knows if they maybe allow me to work in the ER? They make like $25 an hour there. So obviously, I'm not gonna be working in an environment for a huge amount of time. I've never been able to hold a job, so my job is to basically get as much money as I can and go to Jerusalem, the Vatican, and possibly, go over to these church, get the blessings from Jesus, soak in a lot of this stuff for at least a couple months, maybe even do some work in a CNA work. I don't think a CNA license would work in a different country like that, but to soak in a lot of this material and the lack of Jesus that I haven't been able to really soak in my life. And I think it would be great. And other future projects that I want to work on. And one of the things about working is, am I going to work out of state? Well, you have to get a certain type of transitional license or some shit like that. I don't know if it's a fee, or I think it's a fee that you have to pay. It could be another test. I don't think it's another test, but I think it said something that it was another fee. Then I have to, because I have to get that information and pay another fee if I move to like Florida and go to Miami, and I go there, or I go to San Francisco, or I go to New York, and I go there and I pay whatever money it is to transfer the license, and then I can work in that state. But in my opinion is that I'm only going to work in a setting, either in a nursing home or a hospital, probably 1 or 2, 3 times, and that's it. That's it. I'm just going to go be a delivery driver, a driver for a car, work in a warehouse. Because the chances of me ever working, or be a cafeteria person in a hospital, the chances of me working in a hospital for a long period of time is going to be like any other job. It's not going to be permitted and allowed. But the purpose has already been fulfilled. Putting that into a frame for my family, I did this for myself, and most of that material I'll also remember throughout my entire rest of my life, my natural life. So I think that would be very benefiting, and that mission would be accomplished. But as far as me working in these environments, I don't think, in my opinion, it'll last long. I in fact, because there's so much control over my life, that what you're doing with these electronic devices and how they're justifying things and all the trauma that's being placed on me and how they're justifying the wrongs that they did, that I just have to just roll with it. I have to just go along with it. So, that's what my expectations is I won't be working there more than a few weeks to maybe a couple months or a month. I've never held a job more than 7 weeks in 12 fucking years, it's unbelievable. So, that's what I think is going to happen. Maybe I can work part-time and then work for a longer period of time, but it'll allow me, who knows, if I can work in a hospital in Florida, if I can work in a hospital in California, if I can work in a hospital in New York, that would be great. There's also the possibility that, I don't know if the war in Iraq is still going on in any form of the way, but I know 6-7 years ago I was told by somebody, I think it was a crisis line or something, saying that you can actually go overseas to Afghanistan or some shit like that, and you can do volunteer work to veterans that are wounded in battle. So they still need CNAs there. So if I were to go to like any other foreign country while I'm on my Jesus trips, well, I can stop by, a certain place where maybe there's conflict that's going on, and I can go to a veterans, wounded care center and be a CNA there for just to experience that for a little while. I don't think there's no Marines or any Army infantry at all that's in war right now. Not that I know of. If there may be, then it's probably not big enough to be placed on the news, or it may be in small battalions, if that's the correct word, of groups of people that may be for minor conflict. But I think it'll be some great support. I think that, and the number one thing that I wanted to do this for as well, since they wouldn't be telling me that I'm HIV positive and all this other shit. So in other countries, has to be somebody that has HIV and AIDS that probably doesn't have the medication or whatever it may be, or their medication is not working. Well, having a CNA license and having a little bit of experience will allow me to find a church. Like when I went to Lawrence, Kansas, where my sister was, and I remember these pamphlets, and they were called, I think, Knights or something like that, or I don't know, it was some kind of name. And these church organizations got people together to go to like really poor places and people that were struggling really bad in life to help them. So maybe I can do something like that as well, or I can go to like the Red Cross or whatever, and I can go to like Rwanda, or I can go to a place in Africa where people are starving to death. People are really, really in bad shape. And I can go there and do some CNA work. I can meet some other people that are infected and have no hope in life, very little hope in life for a better existence. And I can do a little bit of charity work there, get to experience a different foreign country and the struggles of what they're going through, do some Jesus work there, and off I come back to the United States, back to the States. So, so I think that would be very, very good and very benefiting. And not just that. The other one, this is crucially why I want to do this for, is, okay, so there's also children. Going to nursing homes and a lot of hospitals, those for adults. People, a lot of times we always forget that there's a lot of children that are sick, very, very sick. Cancer, all kinds of diseases. They like toys, they like all kinds of stuff like that. So, very creative. So, I think it would be really good if I had a CNA license. And I don't think I would work, I don't think they would even hire me at Children's Medical Center, even though I used to go there all the time. Just because, they wouldn't think I would be in any kind of mental state of any kind like this. But I am a plastic anemia survivor. So if I was working at Zale Lipsy, or if I was working at Children's Medical Center, if I was working, there's other people that have had transplants, and they'd be like, oh wow, or this guy's had a plastic anemia. So I think that would be very beneficial as well. And a larger picture of this as well is, since they're going to make me into a DJ and go back into music and all this other shit, what better yet to have a side hustle that is very, very positive and very good, because there's a lot of celebrities and there's a lot of people out there. I heard Johnny Depp used to do a lot of work by going to not a lot of work, but I was told that used to go to Children's Medical Center and used to play his little pirate acting Pirates of the Caribbean. So there's a lot of famous people do that to support children like that. So if I was traveling around the world and spinning records, making money for a living, living in hotels, for me to take breaks at least whatever time it is, I can go to places where HIV and AIDS has a very bad, poor support, and I can also help alleviate that and give people hope. But it's not the fact that, oh, you're just doing something nice. No, I'll have a CNA license and certified that I have been trained to do this. Obviously, you have to pay a renewal license. I think you have to work at least one day every 2 years to keep your license. So as long as I work one day, I think every 2 years, I should be good. I don't know if that's the case in Texas. I'm not too sure exactly. It may just be that I don't just have to pay to renew it every 2 years. Um, but I think that would be really good because the fact, if 50 Cent or Dr. Dre, whatever, wanted me to do some charity work, what better yet to have somebody that's certified as a CNA and has medical training and a cancer survivor to have work for them and do their shit, and then I can go and do some charity work. That's nice. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to do that are not trained or probably even better at doing it. But what better yet that I actually went to a class and learned this type of material and what they did. Like I said, there's some people that are not. It's like music. Some people are musically trained, and some people are not. And the people that are not musically trained in any education, a lot of times or most of the time, better or more creative. You can have a personality to it. So, I think that would be very benefiting. I know that there's a lot of starving people in the world, and they're suffering really, really bad. Cancerous diseases, leukemia. I can go to places in Africa and give support there. Do a CNA license on a trip. Even international CNAs do exist. So hopefully there's not a natural disaster, because I know that's usually when they get called. But I know that CNAs in the United States, they have special agencies, and you can go to an agency and then they find you work and they send you out for like a 2 to 3 month assignment. But I have to find my own place to live, and I think they had like a pay increase. To my understanding, you don't get some of them said that you don't get a bonus or anything, but they have like a pay increase. There's some sort of benefits, because obviously you're traveling all over the place and you're for a couple of months to do an assignment, in a place you don't live, you don't know, you have no family, you're sacrificing a lot just to do that. So I think that that's something that could be possibly get done. I could go to Alaska, go Juneau, Alaska. There's some islands over there, some hospitals that may need some CNAs. So I think that that'll allow me to travel, and it'll allow me to do some work and save up some money. I really don't look at the situation of me traveling. I'm trying to hopefully stay, but I don't know. Really, in my opinion, I don't think they want me to have a car. I just don't feel like whatever it is that these people are controlling, and the laser beams and all these frequencies and all this stuff, I don't think they just don't want me behind the wheel of owning my own car because of some sort of, permission that they don't want me allowed to be doing for whatever reason. Maybe for a job for a while, that don't matter, but having my own car, I don't think they want me having my own car. So I don't want to be traveling. Maybe will take the chance and purchase my own car and see what goes on. I don't know what to expect. I just know I'm just going to get this license and see what work is, and do this for a couple weeks, months, whatever, and that's it. And I just know. But my opinion, I know that everything's going to be controlled. They're going to do like what they did with my dad. My dad, before he died, he used to tell me thousands of times that he was so pissed off and he got tired of working as a nurse because they were getting him to do the horse shit work. And he said he started coming into work drunk, pissed drunk on purpose. And he was going to work dealing with hospice, and he was drunk. And he said he literally showed up to work drunk as hell, and the lady was yelling at him and screaming all kinds of shit, and then he left. He never came back, and he said he couldn't have been more happy that he finally got to leave and never returned to that again. He was sick. He said he never returned again and never looked back again of turning to that type of work. So, I'm sure they'll probably do something like that before they do a little 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, headphone deals and all this other shit that, surprise, oh, we'll be surprised again, oh, and then you see I know exactly what's going to happen, and I'm just not really going to focus on it. It'll happen when it happens. I don't expect nobody to give me anything, but I think that this would be a really great opportunity. It really bothers me a lot that I feel like I'm not being permitted or would be allowed to further any education past the CNA. I don't know how difficult the CNA class is. To my, from my overview, just mentally of what trying to think of it, I don't think that it would be that difficult. You know, you have to make beds. There's bacteria, clothing. You do a lot of the basics, how to pick people up, how to put them down. And they keep making me shit. And so, goddamn motherfucker, I can hear them throwing shit on the fucking counter right now as they're pressing the button, making me shit. And it's a psychological game. Anyway, I don't think they're going to allow me to work there. I know they're not, but God knows that I tried. And I think this will be the best thing for me to do. It really bothers me that I don't think they'd ever let me allow to further my education in the medicine. Especially my mother's been severely putting me down for the last couple of months. Every fucking way you can imagine. Mangling my dead sister. All kinds of horrible shit. And yeah, she doesn't give a, nobody gives a goddamn fuck. You have no idea what type of prison that I'm being placed in. And but I think it's important for me to make a video on this, that's what the education part of it's going to be. So I don't think that they're going to want me around people that are dying. Okay, because when you work in a hospital, it's a little bit different. You know, it's always that energy. It's always that vibe when you get there. But when you're in a nursing home, it's more of a death vibe. More of a death vibe in a nursing home, because they got an aisle just for that. So, I think it's important because I don't know what the outcome. I don't think they're going to want me around dead people, and I definitely don't want people committing suicide in front of me in any kind of way to help whoever it is they want to make the movement on for the next thing. And because it's happened before several times. But like I said, I'm just hoping that Jesus allows me and gives me a path to continue this education. See what happens, and I'll make other videos.